Hello, I'm Hannah Roberts. Welcome to Cowdrey's virtual wellbeing programme. Today I'm going to guide you through a 50-minute slow Vinyasa flow practice, and we're going to be focusing on opening and strengthening the hips and opening the chest and the heart region. I really hope you enjoy the practice. Please remember to listen to your body and listen to your breath. Don't do anything that hurts and rest as often as you need to. The vinyasas in between the sequences are always optional, so you can always just take a downward dog or a child's pose. You can find more details of the classes that I teach on Cowdrey's website, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Hannah Roberts Yoga. Enjoy the practice. We're going to start our practice in child's pose. So coming on to the knees and sitting on your heels and placing the forehead down on the mat. If you find it hard for your hips to get to your feet, or indeed your forehead to get to the floor, you could always put a cushion, or if you have one, a yoga block between your heels and your bottom. And you can also place a block under the forehead, or take your fists and rest your forehead on your fists. So coming into our child's pose, we'll take a few moments to come into the breath and prepare for our practice. Remembering always to practice mindfully and not to push into anywhere that becomes painful. So slowing the breath down, settling and stilling the mind, noticing any areas that may be achy or needing some extra TLC today. Sending a breath into the back body, into the kidneys, into the backs of the lungs, then into the tummy, the chest, and then reaching your arms out in front of you. Press into your fingers so that you stretch your arms, make little teepees with your hands. Feel an opening through the armpit. Feel your tricep muscles engaging. And then walk your fingertips over to the left-hand side of the mat. And find that stretch from the right hip through to the hands, opening up again the armpit, the side waist, into your right ribs, taking some deep breaths there. And then walking your hands back through centre, take them over to the right hand side of your mat. Stretching, making an arc from your left hip through to your hands. Opening up your ribs, the armpit. Breathing deeply, and then taking your hands back to centre. We're going to come up onto all fours. So you've got your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, spreading your fingers wide, getting a great connection between every finger in the mat. We're going to come through a few rounds of cat-cow. So on an inhale, we're going to dip the tummy towards the mat, lift the gaze and move the collarbones through the heads of the shoulders. And then as we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone, scoop the belly, round the back, doming through the shoulders and taking the gaze between the thighs. Inhale. We begin to lift the tailbone, dip the tummy, lift the chest, and as we exhale, rounding tucking the tailbone, releasing the head. So come through a few more rounds of cat-cow, following your breath. Imagine that you're oiling up the vertebra, getting rid of any cobwebs, beginning to link breath with movement, making this a moving meditation. And then from here, come and sit on your heels. Take your hands to the floor behind your bottom. And just tuck your tailbone under so that you're opening through the front of the thighs, lifting the chest. And then as you inhale, gently push the hips forward, coming into a low camel. Beginning to open the chest and the hip flexors, squeezing the bottom. Lovely. And then taking the bottom back down to the heels. We're going to come back to all fours. Step your right foot back, tuck your toes under, press into the heel of that right foot, stretching through the back of the leg, opening up the heel and the calf. And then picking up your left foot, spin it out behind you and come onto the instep of your right foot, lifting your right arm, coming into a supported side plank. So reaching your right arm to the ceiling. And then let's rotate the arm, opening up and oiling the shoulders. So as you exhale, drawing circles with your arm, taking your arm back and down. Inhale, reaching the arm forwards and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forwards and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forwards and up, and then just hold the arm there. And take the hands back down to the mat, come back to all fours. Take your left foot back, tuck the left toes under, and take a moment to press into that left heel, stretching through the calf and the heel. And then picking up that right foot, swiveling it behind us, coming to rest on the instep of the left foot and lifting your left arm high to the sky in our supported side plank. So lifting the hips high, engaging the tummy, and then let's rotate the shoulder. So exhale, taking the arm back and down. Inhale, reaching the arm forwards and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forwards and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forwards and up. Lovely. And then take that hand back down. Coming back to all fours. And now we're going to tuck the toes and we're going to make our way up to a downward facing dog. So in our downward facing dog, your arms, your hands are just about shoulder width apart. Your fingers are spread wide and you're pressing into all 10 fingers, particularly the thumb and the forefinger. And then we tuck the toes. And to begin with, let's keep the legs bent. So on an exhale, begin to lift your hips to the sky. And to begin with, really focus on creating height in the hips and a straight diagonal line from your wrists to the hips, sucking in the tummy. And then as you exhale, begin to lower the right ankle, the right heel towards the floor, stretching out the back of the right leg. Inhale, release that, and exhale, taking the left heel towards the floor. And keep pedaling out your dog, moving with the breath, opening up the backs of the legs, and then bringing both heels towards the floor. Give your head a little shake. Yes, yes, no, no. Perhaps take a deep breath in and exhale through the mouth, letting go of any tension. Lovely. And then we're going to step the right foot between the hands And we're going to lower our left knee to the mat. Here you might want to double up your mat or pad your knee. Release your toes. So you've got your fingers either side of the front foot. I'm thinking about lifting the chest. So we're in a low lunge, opening up that left hip, lifting the chest forwards, lengthening from the tailbone through to the crown of the head and melting the heart space forwards. Lovely. And then plant your left hand on the mat, and as you inhale, reach the right arm to the sky, twisting the torso towards your right knee. Exhale, taking the hand back down. And then we're going to step back to our downward dog. And then we'll step forward with the left foot, releasing the right knee to the mat, and again doubling up, patting the knee if you need to. Slowly opening that right hip to the mat, lifting the chest forwards, melting the space around the heart. Keep breathing, and then plant your right hand on the floor, and as you inhale, lift your left arm to the sky, twisting towards your left knee, opening that chest, sinking those hips to the floor. Excellent. And then take that hand back down to the mat, tuck your back toe, and step it back to a downward facing dog. From here, we're going to walk the feet forwards to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold. You can have a bit of softness in the backs of your knees. Your feet are about hip width apart. Take some deep breaths here, letting the head hang. And then on your next exhale, press into the feet and slowly uncurl the spine, coming up one vertebra at a time. Shoulders, neck and head come up last. And then inhale, taking the arms out wide and up overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, hands down through prayer. Inhale, reaching the arms up high. Palms touch. And bend your elbows and take your thumbs to rest on the nape of your neck. And just notice, has your bottom begun to stick out a little bit? And just gently draw the tummy button in and anchor the tailbone down. So we're coming into a little back bend of the upper back or thoracic spine and a chest opener. Keep breathing, the breath can become quite strained in this position. And then releasing the hands down by the sides. Give your shoulders a little roll. Interlace your hands behind your back. Draw your knuckles towards your heels, opening through the chest. And then inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, softening the knees, we're going to fold forwards. So we're coming into a forward fold, and your fingers are still clasped, and you're drawing your little fingers towards the back of your head. Let your head hang. Relax the muscles in your face. Lovely. And then release your hands. And then as you inhale, sit the bottom down and sweep the arms forwards, coming into a chair. So we've got the weight in our heels. You can wiggle your toes. Chest lifted, tummy drawing in. Keep breathing. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, coming to a halfway lift, and then we're going to step back to a plank. Holding the plank for a breath here. And then as you exhale, Dropping the knees and the chest and the chin down towards the mat. Fingers spread wide. As you inhale, I'm going to lift the chest, coming into a cobra. Keeping the upper arms close to the body. Exhale, release it down. We're going to repeat our cobra 3 times. So inhale, pressing into the hands, lifting up cobra, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, head back down. Inhale, press into the hands, cobra. Exhale, taking it back down. Inhale, press into the hands, cobra, and then lift the bottom up, tuck the toes, coming into our downward facing dog as we exhale. Let's take a few breaths in our downward dog, really drawing the heels down towards the floor. And then on your next inhale, lift your right foot high to the sky. And as you exhale, step that foot through to the front of your mat between your hands. We're going to come into a warrior one. So for this, step your back foot in a little bit and out to the side. And then ground your heel. Pressing into your feet, inhale as you come up nice and steady. You're doing great. So for our warrior one, you want to have your hips oriented towards the front short edge of your mat. So make sure that you've got enough distance or the width between your feet. Imagine that they're on train tracks. Press into the blade of your back foot so that your arch is lifted, your thighs are engaged. And then sink into that front knee. Lifting the chest, shoulders releasing down the back. And then taking the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, draw your knuckles towards your heel. And then as you inhale to prepare, opening the chest, exhale, fold forwards, coming into a humble warrior. So in your humble warrior, you're gently resting your right shoulder on your knee, very gently. You're also really supporting yourself with the strength in your legs, so pressing deeply into the feet. And then releasing your hands, take them to the mat either side of your front foot. And we're going to drop that left knee to the mat. Releasing the toes, coming back to our low lunge. At this time, engaging your inner thighs, pressing into your feet. As you inhale, we're going to lift the body up, lift the arms up overhead, interlacing the fingers, and then as you exhale, releasing that hip towards the mat. If you find that your shoulders are a little stiff, you can also just have your arms shoulder width apart. Lovely. And then releasing the hands to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot out towards the side of your mat. And turn the toes out at about 45 degrees. We're coming into lizard. So from here, thinking about lifting the chest, creating space between the pelvis and the ribs. Shoulders melt down the back, gaze lifted. And we're opening into both hips on this one. So the left hip flexor, and also you might feel this more in the outer right hip. You may be quite open in your hips, in which case you may be able to bring your elbows down to the floor or rest them on the block. And you might also want to tuck your back toe. Yogi's choice. You do what's right for you today. And then let's heel toe that foot back towards the midline of the mat. Walk the hands a little bit further back towards you and draw the hips back so that they're above your left knee. And come onto the heel of your right foot. So this is half monkey. So we're opening up through the hamstring of the right leg. And again, lengthening the spine, softening the area around the heart. And then walk the hands forwards, tuck your back toe, and we're going to step back to a downward dog. Now here you have an optional vinyasa, so you can either stay in dog, or you could take a rest in child's pose, or if you've got bags of energy or feel like you want to create some more heat in your body today, as you inhale, you come forward to a plank, and you exhale, either coming down through knees, chest, chin, or if you practice chaturanga, you can take that variation too. So then as you inhale, come into your cobra or your up dog, and then exhaling to your downward facing dog. If you were taking a rest in child's pose, make your way back up to downward facing dog. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift the left foot high to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to step it through between the hands. And again, we're coming into our warrior one. So grounding the back foot, remember to step it in a little bit and out to the side. Pressing into the feet as you inhale, taking the body up. And either interlacing the hands or having the arms at shoulder width. Press into the blade of your back foot. Lift the arch of that foot so you engage the muscles in that leg. And then sink a little deeper into that front knee. Interlace the hands behind the back, drawing the knuckles towards the heel. And as you inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bowing forwards, humble warrior. Allowing your left shoulder just to gently rest on your left knee. Bowing the head, let the head hang. And allow the little fingers to fall back towards the back of the head. Active through the feet here. Excellent, you're doing great. Release your hands and place them down the mat, either side of your front foot. And we're going to step your back foot a little bit further back. Come on to the knee of the right foot, of the right leg. And as you inhale, we're coming up to our lunge. Really actively engaging the inner thighs, making a scissoring action with the inner thighs, hugging the hips towards the midline to help give you stability. And then release the hands onto the inside of your left foot. Heel toe that left foot out to the side, taking the toes out at 45 degrees, coming into our lizard. So this might be your lizard, and if that's the case, just concentrate on lengthening the spine, softening the area around the heart, and opening into the hips. And again, there's the option to come down onto your elbows and to tuck the back toe and lift the back knee off the mat. That's an option as well. But try and keep the length in the spine, whatever you're doing. Gently releasing. Heel toe that foot back towards the midline. Walking the hands back towards your knee, and we're coming into that half monkey. So you're going to come onto the heel of your left foot. Hips are in line with your knee, your right knee. And you're bowing over your extended leg. So this is a stretch for the hamstring. You can keep a micro bend in your knee if you need to, particularly if you have hypermobility issues. Try and always keep a little bit of softness in the joints and work with the muscles. Taking some deep breaths here. Lovely. And then walking the hands forwards, tuck the back toe, stepping it back to a downward dog. And again, yogi's choice, either staying in your dog, taking rest in child's pose, or you could inhale from forwards and move through your vinyasa. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Deep breaths here. And then, if you're resting in child's pose, come back up into a downward facing dog. Take your gaze between your hands at the front of your mat. You're going to bend the knees and either hop, jump, or step to the front of the mat. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So in our forward fold, let's take opposite thumb to elbow crease and let the upper body hang. It can be quite soft and bouncy. Ragdoll. Relaxing the muscles in the face. And then release the hands. And as you exhale, pressing into the feet, engaging the legs, coming up one vertebra at a time. Shoulders, neck and head come up last. Inhale, reach the arms out to the sides and overhead. Exhale, taking the hands down through prayer. Amazing work, you're doing great. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, coming down to our forward fold. Inhale to our halfway lift. Exhale, stepping it back to a plank. And optional vinyasa. Again, you can come straight into a dog if you don't want to do the vinyasas. You can decide whether or not you want to dial up the heat of the practice or whether you want to keep things a little bit softer. So we're in our downward dog. Inhale, we're going to lift the right leg high to the sky. Then we're going to bend the right knee, taking the heel towards the bottom. And then we're going to lift the right knee high to the sky. So this is called tail of the dog. Keep pressing into the hands, both arms straight. Keep breathing. Inhale, and then as you exhale, we're going to step that foot through between the hands. And now we're going to come up into a warrior two. So ground your back heel. Press into the feet as you inhale. Cartwheeling the arms open. So in our warrior two, our foot position is different from warrior one. So you want to have the instep of your back foot in line with the heel of your front foot. And if you look down at your front foot, you should be able to see your big toes. Reaching your arms away from each other, shoulders stacked over your hips. Keep breathing. Try and find some softness, some ease in the pose. Lovely. And then we're going to come into a reverse warrior. So turn your front palm towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, we're going to reach that arm up and create an arch from our right hip to our right fingertips. And your left fingers just rest on your left thigh, bending into your right knee. Inhale. And then we're going to move dynamically. So as you exhale, bring your elbow to your knee and reach the left arm forwards into extended side angle. And then as we inhale, we're going to come back to our reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reversing the warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Let's do this one more time. Moving fluidly, gracefully. Exhale, extended side angle. We're going to stay here for a moment. Now you might find this is great for you. You might want to take your hand to the floor or block. You're pressing into the outer edge of your back foot, reaching the fingertips forwards. Lovely. And then take both hands to the floor, swivel on your back toes, so you're coming up onto the toes of your back foot. Plant your left hand on the floor, and as you inhale, reach your right arm to the sky, and we're going to twist towards our right knee. Lovely. And here you might want to turn your palm towards the back of the room, and then bend your elbow and take the back of your hand to the outside of your left hip. This will help you just draw the chest a little more open towards the ceiling. And then release that hand. And then we're going to drop the back knee, coming back to our half monkey. Walk the hands forwards, tuck the back toes, and step it back to a downward facing dog. Let's do 3 deep breaths in our downward facing dog. And if you want to, you could come through a Vinyasa. Or you could also take some time out in child's pose. And remember, you can always pause this video whenever you want and take it at your pace. So we're in our tail of the dog, so coming up, lifting the left foot high to the sky, going to bend that left knee and draw that left knee towards the ceiling, tail of the dog. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, step that foot forward. We're going to come up into a warrior 2. So grounding that back heel, inhale, lifting up. And I will just switch to the other side so that you can see me and I can see you. So we've got our left leg forwards. And we're bending into our front knee. Shoulders above the hips. Pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. Finding some softness, some stillness, some ease in the posture. And then turn your front palm towards the ceiling. Inhale, reversing the warrior. Reaching the right fingertips down the back of the leg. And then as we exhale, coming into our extended side angle. Inhale, reversing our warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reversing the warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reversing warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. And then we're going to hold it in our extended side angle. And you can either keep your elbow on your knee, or you might take your hand down to the floor or block. Reaching the fingertips forwards. Deep breaths here. And then take your hands to the floor, come up onto the toes of your back foot. We're going to take that into our twist. So plant your right hand as you inhale. Reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Twisting the chest towards your left leg. And then you might want to take the option to take your palm towards the back of the room. Bend your elbow and place the back of your hand on the outside of your right hip. Lovely, you're doing great. Active through the feet. And then take that hand back down, release the hand to the floor. Drop your back knee, coming back into our half monkey. So we're coming onto the heel of the left foot, pouring the body over the front leg, over the extended leg, releasing the head. Lovely. And then walking the hands forwards, tucking the back toe, stepping it back to a downward dog. And again, yogi's choice, either coming into a child's pose, or staying in a downward dog, or moving through your vinyasa. Taking some nice restorative breaths, keeping your awareness in the body, in the breath, making the practice a moving meditation. And then if you're in child's pose, make your way back up to dog. And as we inhale, we're going to lift the right foot high to the sky, and as we exhale, we're going to step it forwards between the hands, ground your back heel, and make your way up to standing. So we're going to come into a triangle pose. So you've got your right leg forwards, left leg backwards. Your right foot is pointing straight ahead, and your left toes are pointing either out to the side or perhaps slightly forwards. Inhale, lifting the arms high. You want to have your ankles more or less underneath your wrists here. And then as we exhale, reaching forwards with the right hand, and then bringing the right hand to the right shin or a block, and drawing the left arm towards the sky. And then thinking about lifting that chest. And again, here you might find it helpful to do that variation of the hand where you turn the palm towards the back of the room. And just find that hip crease or the back of the hip. See if that helps you to open your chest a little higher, shining it towards the ceiling. Lovely. 2 more breaths here. You're doing great. Strong through the feet, strong through the legs. Drawing the tummy button in. And then inhale, pressing into the feet to lift up. Turn your toes towards the long edge of the mat. And turn your toes out slightly. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead, palms touch. And as you exhale, taking the prayer down through center, bend into the knees, coming into horse stance or goddess pose. Inhale, let's move through this dynamically. Inhale, arms come up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, taking the prayer down as you bend into the knees, sinking deep. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sinking down, and let's hold it here. Drawing the tummy in, chest lifted. Strong posture. And then press into the legs and release. We're going to take our triangle to the other side. So switching up the feet so that your left toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. Right toes out to the side or ever so slightly inwards. Lifting your arms, chest lifted, tailbone drawing down. Reach forwards as you exhale, bringing the hand to rest on the shin or the block, and then reaching the right arm towards the ceiling. And again, the option to take that hand to the hip and using that to help you open your chest a little more. Excellent work. Inhale, lift the arm back up. Press into the feet to come out of the posture. And now we're going to come into a wide forward fold. So heel toe the feet a little wider. And this time with slightly pigeon toes. So your toes are slightly pointing inwards. Taking the hands to the hips. Inhale to prepare, let the shoulders melt down the back. As we exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forwards. And then releasing the hands to the floor to a block. Press into the outer edges of your feet. Feel the arches on your feet lift and the muscles in your legs engage. And then think about wriggling your ribs a little further away from your pelvis, creating length in the spine. And as you exhale, folding, releasing down, relaxing the head, letting the flesh of the face become loose and soft. Amazing. Taking some deep breaths into the tummy. And then walking your hands back to frame your right foot, swiveling on your toes, stepping it back to a downward facing dog. And then taking your knees to the mat, take them wide, take them about mat width apart. Release your toes and then sit your bottom back onto your heels. Make a pillow with your hands and rest your cheek on your hands. Slowing the breath down. Sending the breath wherever you feel you need it. Taking as long as you like here. And then when you're ready, press up, coming out of child's pose. Just take your feet out to the side and then extend your legs out in front of you. And we're going to bend the right knee and then take that right knee out to the side and place the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. You might want to place a block or a cushion or something underneath your right thigh if you feel you need a bit of support. And then just lift any flesh away from your sit bones. Flex the foot of your extended leg. Just using your hands as little anchors to lift the chest and orient your torso towards your extended leg. And then inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to fold forwards and just your hands come to wherever they come to. You might want to have them on the mat outside of your leg, or you might be able to reach your shin or your ankle. If you have a strap, you could also work with a strap here. This is Sukhasana A. And as you inhale, thinking about lengthening the spine, lifting out of the pelvis. And as you exhale, releasing, bowing, surrendering, shoulders away from the ears. And then as we inhale, walking the hands back up the leg. Take that right foot and step it over your extended leg. And then place your right fingertips on the floor behind your right bottom, right hip. Inhale, reaching up with the left arm. And as we exhale, we're going to twist the torso to the right. And then either you can just hold on to your right knee with your hand or your forearm, hugging it towards your chest. Or you could also hook your elbow on the outside of your knee. And then lifting up through the crown of the head, lifting the ribs away from the pelvis. Find that length, and then as you exhale, twisting from the base of the spine. And perhaps taking your gaze over your right shoulder. Staying here for a couple of breaths. And then as you exhale, release and just take a little counter twist to the other side. Fantastic work. And then let's take that to the other side. So extending your right leg out in front of you. Bend your left leg And take the left knee out to the side, placing the sole of your left foot on the inside of your right thigh, making sure you've got rid of any flesh under the sit bones, and then using your hands as little anchors to help you orient your torso over your extended leg. Inhale, lifting up, exhale, folding forwards and letting your hands come to rest wherever they come to rest. You're active through the foot of your extended leg. And again, lengthening as you inhale, releasing as you exhale. Sticking with the practice, with the breath, with the sensations that arise in your body. And then as we inhale, walking the hands back up, take that left foot and step it over your right thigh, your right leg. Place your left fingertips behind your left hip. As you inhale, reaching high with those right fingertips, and as you exhale, twisting to the left. And then bring that elbow to the outside of that knee, or taking the option to hug the knee in towards you. Either option is fine. And then thinking about lengthening with every inhale and twisting with every exhale. Really drawing the tummy into the spine, thinking about rinsing out the internal organs. This is really detoxifying. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths. And then exhale, taking a little counter twist to the other side. And then releasing that foot out in front of you. And then we're going to come into Sukhasana. So this is a sitting position where you've got the legs crossed at the shin. So if you look down, you should see a little triangle basically between the pubic bone, the shin and the inner thighs. Lifting up the chest, pushing out through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, hinging forwards. And this might be your Sukhasana. This is a hip opener and a stretching through bottom. Or you might find that you can bring your hands forwards. And again, working with the breath, lengthening on the inhale, softening and releasing with the exhale. And I love to spend ages in this pose, so feel free to stop the video and just stay here. And you really find that with time, you can open up a lot more. And then as you inhale, walk the hands back, up towards you, and change the cross of your legs. So we'll take that to the other side. So again, crossing the legs at the shins, flexing the feet. Inhaling, lifting up to prepare. Exhale, hinging at the hips, taking the hands forwards if that's available to you. And again, working with that lifting on the inhale and surrendering on the exhale. And then when you find your edge, just work there, thinking about opening the hips, making that connection with the thigh bones and the hip sockets, using the muscles of your leg to draw them open, grounding the sit bones to the mat. And perhaps with time you might find your fingers can walk forwards a little bit more. And then walking the hands back towards the body to come out of the posture. Now we're getting short on time, so if you've got more time, this would be an ideal time just to pause the video and either take your feet up the wall or come into a shoulder stand, if a shoulder stand is in your practice, or take any other posture that you feel that you need to take at this moment in time. Otherwise, we're going to come into a Shavasana, corpse pose. So this is our final relaxation. So you come to lie down on your back, and if you want to have a pillow under your head or under your knees, or if you prefer to have final relaxation in another posture, that is totally fine. The idea is you want to be able to completely relax. So you're letting your feet flop out to the sides, palms facing towards the ceiling. And begin to come in, drawing your awareness back in. So I'll guide you through a relaxation and a sort of 3 or 4 minute Shavasana. If you want to stay longer in Shavasana, please go ahead and do so. So scanning from the head down to the toes, consciously relaxing the space between the eyebrows, relaxing the cheeks and the jaw, relaxing your throat and your neck, feeling your scalp falling away from your skull, letting everything just melt into the ground beneath you. Allowing your shoulders to spread and release into the mat, your arms and your hands feeling heavy. Relaxing the chest, relaxing your waist, the back, your bottom and your hips. Your legs feel heavy. You relax your feet and your toes. The breath feels soft and supple. And as you breathe in, imagine the breath like a wave arriving at your feet and making its way up your body as you inhale. And as you exhale, gently flowing away. Inhaling as the wave comes up your body. Exhale, the wave slowly releasing away. Staying present. If you find your mind beginning to wander, gently draw your attention either back to the sensation of your body on the floor or the breath coming in and out. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring a little movement into your fingers and toes. And then on an inhale, draw your arms overhead along the mat and reach your toes away. Inhaling like a cat stretching in the sun. Deep inhale. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest one at a time and rocking from side to side. And perhaps circling your knees one way and then another way. Releasing any tension in the lower back, massaging the sacrum. We've done a lot of work on back bends and hips today, so perhaps circling the knees. And then when you're ready, and I would encourage you to keep your gaze soft, your eyes closed, roll onto your side, feeling the support of the ground beneath you for a few breaths. And then using your hand to push you up to sitting. And then come to sit cross-legged or however's comfortable for you on your mat. Taking a few moments to acknowledge the effort that you've put in today for being here watching this video. Fantastic, well done. And just acknowledging the space that we've created in the body, in the breath, and hopefully in the mind and the soul. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed the class.